Good morning, friends. I'm Shubha Lakshmi from I Niche Watch Foundation, and I'm conducting a virtual tree tour today. And this tour I'm taking just around my building, and there are a couple of trees over here, and I'm going to go through them and tell a bit about them. So the things which I'm going to cover on this during this tour is that how to identify trees and what are the interesting aspects about the trees. Yeah. So let's get started. So this is the first tree I am talking about. I believe this tree is flowering throughout Mumbai at least. This is the laburnum tree, also called as golden shower. It is known as golden shower because of its flowers. You can see this hanging clumps of flowers which appear like golden shower, and they have this beautiful way of dangling down like yellow danglers, and this usually blooms at the start of summer, usually in April, and we are in May and this tree is flowering. And I can also show you a bit about the fruits. You see this long tube like or like rod like things hanging from the top. Those are the fruits, and these fruits are known to be medicinal, and you can actually grow a new tree sapling if you take the seeds and make a sapling bag. And that's about the so a bit about the flowers. These flowers are pollinated by bees because they are completely open flowers, and open flowers in the sense here you can see that the stamen, the anthers, they all are exposed, so a bee can easily come and pollinate it. So it's a bee pollinated plant. Let's come down to the bark and a bit about the leaves. The bark is grayish and mostly I would say smooth, because there are not much of projections or anything, so it is mostly a gray color bark. And if you look at the leaves are compound. So compound leaves are those which like there are many leaves growing out of one single branch. So here you can see many branches. So this entire thing is actually one leaf, and these are having small leaflets. So these are called leaflets, and that's what it makes it a compound leaf. And something interesting I want to show you is, look at this. It's quite breezy here. You can look at this semicircle cuts on the leaves. These are been done by a bee called leaf cutter bee. So the leaf cutter bee usually uses the leaves, and I'm assuming that there is some particular component about this, some particular factor would be considered by this bee, because probably it is very soft, probably it is easily mendable, because the bee actually uses the semicircle cuts to make a nest. So probably it is easy to mend. And here you can see the new flowers are just, the buds are there, they're hanging. So if you look up the different types of flowering types, or what is also called inflorescence, so you will be able to identify that which type of inflorescence is this. I'm not really getting into the technical part of it, but I'm just highlighting the points so that you can look up. And in the leaves also, so here this is a compound leaf, but the compound leaf, the leaflets are just placed to opposite to each other. So there are different types of leaf arrangements also seen in the trees. And coming back to the association, besides the bee, who else actually feeds on this? There is a butterfly called immigrant butterfly that lays egg on this plant. So this is a host plant of immigrant butterfly. This is our second tree, custard apple tree. You can look at the leaves. Now these leaves are simple leaves, because they all are like from the main branch, one leaf is coming up. They are not dividing further. And if you look closely, the leaf arrangement is alternate. The leaves are placed on alternate positions. So this is a alternate leaf arrangement, you can see. And also look at the leaf shape. So when you look at a tree, you need to look at the leaf shape, the leaf arrangements. They are very helpful in identification. Let me show you this first, a flower, the flower bud which is just coming up. That's a custard apple. It will grow. This is a flower, and then eventually it will grow a custard fruit. And this is probably the most common plant in most of housing societies. We tend to plant trees that benefit us directly. But custard apple we have planted for reason that it is also a food plant for butterflies. So it's a food plant, host plant. Coming to the tree trunk, the trunk is largely brown in color, and it has this vertical ridges. If you observe that, so it is brown bark. Though it looks smooth, but it is not smooth. It is having this vertical ridges in it. So when you look at a tree, you need to see the bark, you need to look at the leaf, that what kind of leaf it is, then the leaf shape, what is the leaf shape. There are different names for leaf shape. So this is a longer or narrower leaves this tree is having. So custard apple is usually grows in like a small tree because it's a hybrid variety, and they don't really grow very tall. So it is good to plant in a housing society or around the homes. There was few custard apples sprouting or rather growing, but some people have stolen it, and here is one dry one. Can you see that? Let's move to another tree. This is Sita Ashok, or the real Ashoka tree. It's an evergreen tree, but slow growing, and it is known. The name Sita Ashok. It gets from the fact that when Sita was kept in Sri Lanka, or in Lanka rather, there was this Ashok Vatika where she was kept, and she was sitting under this tree. That's the Ashoka tree. So it's usually get confused by the false Ashoka tree. We'll talk about that also later on. Let's look at the leaves over here first. Look at the leaves. There is one major leaf which is coming up from the main branch and then dividing into sub leaves. So that is leaflets. So that makes this a compound leaf, not a simple leaf. You can have them here. You can see one main branches, or say the entire twig is having small oppositely placed leaflets, and the leaves are longish. So that is an identification of Ashoka tree. It's not flowering right now, but when it flowers, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. The red color cluster of flowers, which are like lanterns, like red lanterns kept on a trees. So let's look at the bark of this tree. The bark of this tree seems to be like dark brown, and yes, some rough texture is also there. That is not very smooth, but it's almost like plain. So nothing very characteristic to remember, but just to know that it is dark brown color. So whenever you will look at a tree, so we need to keep all this aspect in mind, that we look for the branches, we look for the bark type, we look for the leaves. How are the leaves? Are they simple or they compound? What is the leaf shape? Are they longish? Are they bilobed or heart shape, or different types of leaves are there, and also how the leaves are arranged. So if you remember, if you make a note of all this, so the chances of getting one tree confused from other, it gets reduced. So let's get to another tree over here. This is a fan palm tree which has grown really huge in last, I would say, 10 to 12 years when it was planted. So when you keep a fan palm in the pot, it remains small, but when you plant it, it becomes huge like this. It looks beautiful, isn't it? So fan palm, so palms by themselves is one group of plants which do not have the solid woody stem like other trees, like other trunks. So they have this, you know, the stem is basically grown out of, as the leaves keep on adding, the bracts, the leaf stalks which remains behind, they keep on adding to the stem structure of it, and they are really thorny. You can see the thorns on the branches, on the leaf branches. You can see the thorns. If yeah, you can see it's how thorny it is. It's very thorny, so obviously it can't be eaten, can't be predated very easily. This plant we had planted because it's a host plant for palm fly. So palm fly actually comes and lays egg, and that's where such leaves get eaten up. You can see the edges of this leaves, and they just roll up. The leaves get rolled up. Leaves get rolled up, and they feed on it. So this tree has really grown very big. So that's a fan palm. Let's move further. This is the lane where we have some trees planted, and here is a guava tree, again most popular tree in any housing society. We love mangoes, guavas, custard apple, you know, chikkus. These are like our favorites. But again, this has been planted here for reason that there is a butterfly which lays egg inside a guava, the guava blue butterfly. So this is again a host plant of a butterfly. That's the reason it is existing. But here you can see the leaves. The leaves are simple leaves over here, and the bark is something very interesting. If you look at the bark, the bark is absolutely smooth but flaky. See, it is flaky. So this is an identification. So you might see any other tree like this, but if you see that it is actually flaky, so it is a different kind. Wow. So there is some, see, I just disturbed something, and there is this bug which just walked out of this here. You can see this bug. Yeah, and there are some eggs which have been laid here. These are probably the same eggs laid by this insect, and the eggs have hatched out, and this is a stink bug. Yeah, if you can see it clearly, I'm trying to zoom it for you. Yeah, that's a stink bug which is just staying in this leaf, the bark fold. So this is how a tree actually supports so many other species while it is in its lifetime. That enhances the tree value, not just for us but for so many other species that basically depend on them. Yeah, so there is not much I can say about this guava tree. So let's move to another tree. Another tree which is growing outside our building. This is the pagoda tree, or also called as champa. Not the usual champa tree, it's a foreign tree of course. And it's usually planted near temples and graveyards. But it has nice showy flowers, and it's very easy to identify. You see the leaves are almost like longish, very longish and broad. You see that part here. See, the leaves are long and broad, and these are simple leaves because there is one leaf just growing out of the main branch. The simple leaf, but they are in a pattern of roll arrangement. Roll arrangements means, you look at here, each leaf is growing on alternate position to each other. That is how the roll formation happens, the leaf arrangement happens. And the bark is also smooth. You can see the bark here. The bark is smooth and with some projections on it, slight projections. That's just like tubercles, you can say. So some tubercles are there. So that is how the bark is of this pagoda tree. The pagoda tree, because it's a foreign tree, so initially there was problem of no fruit being formed because we brought the tree but we didn't get the pollinator. So the trees were not getting pollinated, so there was no fruit formation happening. But then now the hybrid varieties which have started coming, and we see some fruits actually growing nowadays on these plants. Of course, right now not this tree is flowering or fruiting. It's just, I would say, having green leaves. And here I can see some guavas from the guava tree. It just got covered with the covering the pagoda tree. So it's also very important that we have a tree cover which is like connected. We call this as a connected canopy. See, this is a guava tree, and the guava tree is connecting with the pagoda tree. The pagoda tree is connecting with another tree, which is what we are going to talk about. This is the Putranjiva. It looks like a false Ashoka tree because the leaves are like compound, and the leaves are very much similar to the false Ashoka, which is also known as Mars tree. But this is, look at the compound leaves over here. You can see this entire branches is having leaves. This is another tree that actually got killed because of an infection. This tree has been probably dead for last 2 years, I would say. It's dead, but it is still standing strong. And this entire bark, as you can see, there are various holes, and these holes are been created by the goat moth. The goat moth lays egg in the ground, and the caterpillars drill holes into the tree trunk, and they feed inside the tree for almost a year or two, and then they emerge. So the drilling by the caterpillars and the emergence by the moths has what caused the death of this tree. This was a pink cassia tree, and I remember that this tree was, at least it has supported 2 broods of the goat moth. Yeah, so sometimes this also happens, and when the tree is having so many holes, so there are secondary infections that actually set into the plant, which eventually kills. Not necessarily that the caterpillar killed this tree, but the secondary infection which would have gone because of these holes is what would have killed the tree. So that's a pink cassia. There's nothing that I can show about it except that the bark type is like smooth, but it is having this small projections on the bark, so that could be the identification. You can look up for pink cassia. It's a beautiful tree, one of the cassia group trees, and it's the leaves are usually compound. This is just standing close to our laburnum tree, so sometimes it is confusing which tree we are talking about. Okay, this is the last tree which I will be talking about, and from the fruits itself you can make out that which tree this is. This is a wild fig, or umbar as it is known in Marathi. This is a fig tree. You can say, I'll just take you to the canopy of this tree. This tree actually came up on its own, and it has been growing very strong. And yes, our housing society is not liking it, because you look at it is actually growing right at our entrance, and it came by its own. So this is a problem with ficus trees, that if they grow very close to your building structure, they can actually harm. Fortunately, this tree is not as spreading. The roots are not as spreading as that of banyan or fig. So we have been trimming this tree on and off, and the tree is still growing. And these are the you see the bark. The bark is light brown, and no, these are some marks made. It is not the pattern. The actual tree bark is like smooth, almost like this. Yeah, so with variegated color of brown. The fruit is fruit and flowers. So the fig is a flower initially, and when it ripens, it becomes a fruit. It is 2-in-1 structure, so there are no separate flowers and separate fruits on the fig tree. And this tree is mostly popular with the fruit bats who actually come here to feed on this during night time. So I think that brings, and also one more thing. Yeah, this is a food plant for one of the silk moths, not the tussar silk moth or any, but there's another silk moth group. So they feed on the ficus leaves, especially on this, and also the common crow butterfly. They feed on the leaves. So the leaves you can see here, they are simple leaves. They are broad, simple leaves, and the arrangement is alternate. If you are able to see it, the arrangement, the leaf arrangement is alternate. The leaf, one leaf is growing in an alternate position, and this is also the plant which usually gets infected by the galls. So the red projections what you see are the galls which are created by insect. That doesn't really. Okay friends, that brings to end my virtual tree tour. I hope you enjoyed this small trip which I take you around our tree, around our house building, and shared some facts about the trees. Yeah, if you liked it, please write a feedback for us. Thank you so much.